family, and you're with Chrissy today. So for today's video, I will be doing the Jamaican rice and peas and steamed fish, and I will be taking you guys along with me. So come along. Alright, so for today, we'll be using the Banga fish, and it's already scaled and everything, so I'll be washing it with a little vinegar. Alright, so I will be letting you all know what type of season I use on my fish. So I'll be using a little all-purpose seasoning. A little bit of the chicken spice seasoning as well. This is what I use on my fish. I don't know about you all, but this is what I use to season my fish. So, alright, also I'll be using a little bit of black pepper. Don't really like black pepper, but we'll be using a little bit of that as well. And as you all can see, this is my season that I use: the Irish carrot, garlic, sweet pepper, Skellion Thyme, tomato, and I'll be using a little piece of this Scotch bonnet pepper as well. So I'll be washing these. Alright, so my utilities are already cleaned. I make sure that my surface area for cooking is cleaned. Always make sure to wash your hands and all of that. So I'll be cutting up my seasoning that I'll be using. I'm not putting it on the fish as yet, but I'll be cutting my seasonings. So most persons use a cutting board. I don't use a cutting board, so I'll be just cutting my seasons in this. Alright, so I'll be cutting my Irish hair. So a little bit of everything will work. Little piece of sweet pepper as well. As I said, other persons use a cutting board. I don't really use a cutting board. This is how I do it. This is the onion. Right, and I'll be using the tomato as well. As I said, a little bit of season helps to spicy up the pot, so these are what I use. Everyone does their carrots how they would want it. Some persons dice it if you would like to cut it in a circular way as well. But this is how I do mine. Right, a little garlic. This had flavors to the pot. A bit of flavoring with the garlic. Since it is that I don't use the garlic powder, I just use the garlic. finished cutting up my seasoning, so I'll be rubbing in the powder seasoning on my fish right now. So this is how I do it. After rubbing in my seasoning, I'll be leaving the fish for it to marinate for about 10 minutes or less before I start to prepare my steamed fish. So this is it. Let me wash my hands. Alright, so this is my peas. I put a little piece of garlic in it, so I'll be using the pressure cooker to cook the peas. I'll be leaving it for it to cook for about 15 minutes, start to pressure for 15 minutes, and then I'll get back to my rice and peas. I'll be showing you all how I cook my Jamaican rice and peas, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so right now I'll be doing the rice and peas. I have already transferred my peas from my pressure cooker to my rice pot here. So this is the peas here, and I'll be putting a little bit of brown seasoning in it. So I'll be putting in my thyme, a little pimento seed. This add a little bit of flavor to the pot, the pimento seed. The green pepper as well add flavor to it. Some persons beat the scallion, or some persons might cut the scallion, but I just rub it in like this. I'll be cutting up the sweet pepper in it. I put a little bit of sweet pepper in my rice and peas as well. It add a little flavor to the rice and peas as well. So this is how I do it. You don't want to chop them up big as if it is that you're putting it in the meat. For it to show in the rice and peas, you just cut them in a small portion. So this is how I do it. Right, after doing that, I'll be adding a little bit of salt to the pot. So, right, that is my salt. I'll be adding a little bit of sugar as well. This gives it a little bit of sweetening taste, but not too much sugar, but just a little bit. Like this amount. So I'll be adding that as well. After adding my sugar, I'll be putting in my coconut powder. This is the one that I use. So I'll be adding that as well. So this is my rice and peas. This is the seasoning part of the rice and peas. I'll be also adding a little bit of butter as well to the rice and peas. So I'll add that as well for you all to see. So yes, this is my butter. Putting this. All my utensils are cleaned. I make sure to wash everything that I want to use in my rice and peas. So the butter add a bit of flavoring to the pot as well. So that is it. Alright guys, so this is the rice and peas. This is the seasoning of the pot. Then what I will be doing, I'll be leaving it for the coconut powder to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes to make sure that it's well cooked. Then I'll be adding my rice to it as well. The rice is already washed and placed over there in a covered bowl. So I'll be leaving this for about 5 minutes. So also, I'll be showing you guys how I go about preparing my steamed fish. So I'll be showing you guys that as well. So using this pot to prepare my steamed fish. I don't use oil in my steamed fish, I use butter. So I'll allow the pot to dry and then I'll add the butter to it for the butter to to melt, because I don't use cooking oil to steam my fish. This is what I use. I use the butter. So I'll put the butter in it for it to melt. Then I'll add my seasoning that I want to use to it. Allow it to stir for about a couple minutes. This is it. So allow the butter to melt. Then I'll be adding my seasoning to it after it's melted. Alright, so let's just allow that to melt. Then these are all my seasoning that I've cut up. They're already cut. So I'll be putting these seasoning in here in the pot. Once it is that the butter is melted, I'll put it in there. Alright, so the rice and peas is cooking, allowing that to the coconut powder to cook for 5 minutes. Then I'll add my rice to it. Alright, so I'll be adding my seasonings. Put pimento seed in this as well, because I like to use the pimento seed to add flavor to the pot. This is what I do. This is my seasoning. So I'll be leaving this for about 2 minutes, and then I'll be adding my fish to the pot. What I do also is add a little bit of the Maggi, all-purpose seasoning. This is what I use to this. Giving that about 2 to 3 minutes. This is it, guys. So this is it. I'll be adding my fish to it in about 2 minutes. Right, let me check on my rice and peas. Right, so it is. And that is ready. I'm tasting it to make sure that alright, well seasoned. I give it a little bit more to open it now. So I'll be putting in my fish. So it seems as if this pot can only hold about 4 fish, so that's what I'll be steaming. I'll be adding about 2 to 3 cups of water. It all depends. So the fish for it to cook, so I'll be doing that. I'll be adding the water. For this type of cup, you can just only use about one of this cup. So I'll be adding this much water to my fish to allow it to steam. That's it, guys. So I'll be washing my hands so that I can put in my rice in the pot. As you can see, it's ready for the rice. I'll be pouring my rice into the pot. So I'll be using a fork to stir the rice. Alright, that's ready to go. Alright, as you can see, my fish is bubbling there, so I'll leave that to cook for about 5 minutes and then I'll get back to the rice and peas. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so this is the finishing touch of my Jamaican rice and peas and my steamed fish. As you all can see, come a little bit closer, view it for them all to see. So this is it, and I'll be tasting it for you all to see how it tastes. A little bit of the rice and peas as well. Really good. Alright guys, so this is the ending of our video for today. So please remember to subscribe, share to our video, turn on your post notification so that you can be notified as soon as we drop every single video. So please stay tuned for that as well. Bye.